Hey everybody, this is Stephen Mosier, the QC Realtor with RE/MAX Metro Realty, and today I have Lori Cowick with American Security Mortgage. So earlier this week I talked about two different programs. One was the North Carolina $8,000 down payment assistance program, and the other one was the MCC tax credit. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that and go into detail on some of these programs. So one of the questions I have for you is, what is the $8,000 down payment assistance program?
The $8,000 down payment assistance is a federal program that's offered through North Carolina Housing Finance Agency. It is what we call a soft second that is offered to people at certain income levels. It depends on the area which you're buying in, and can be forgiven if you live in the home and keep the mortgage for the next 15 years.
So after 15 years, it's completely gone. They don't have to pay that back.
You do not have to repay it after 15 years, as long as you remain in the home with that mortgage.
So if a first-time home buyer wanted to purchase a home today, do they need a large down payment? Do they have to put 20% down?
Absolutely not. We still have 5% down for all buyers and the conventional loan amounts. For first-time home buyers or buyers at or below 80% of HUD median income, there's a 3% option. We still have FHA, which is a 3.5% down payment option. And then there's USDA, which is eligible in areas outside of the city limits. That's a 100% option. And then a lot of the municipalities also offer down payment assistance to first-time home buyers at or below certain income limits.
Very good. So can this $8,000 down payment assistance program be used for someone who's owned a home before?
The $8,000 is for a first-time home buyer, and a first-time home buyer is defined as someone who has not owned a home for the past 3 years.
Gotcha. So moving past the $8,000 down payment assistance program, what about the MCC tax credit? Can that, and you called me out a little bit on this earlier, can that be combined with the $8,000 down payment assistance program?
The mortgage credit certificate cannot be combined with the $8,000 down payment assistance. They're both federal programs, but it can be combined with the North Carolina Home Advantage, which is a 3 or a 5% down payment assistance program.
So that's, the state again will give 3 or 5% towards a down payment for a first-time home buyer.
That is correct.
And they can use that 3 or 5 down payment assistance program in addition with combining it with the MCC tax credit.
That is correct.
So how does the MCC tax credit work?
So the MCC is a dollar-for-dollar tax credit. It works a lot like the earned income credit or the child care credit. It is not a deduction from your income, but an actual dollar-for-dollar tax credit up to $2,000 per year. You can either hold it to the end of the year and file it with your tax returns to get a larger refund, or you can change your withholding at work immediately. You do not have to itemize, you just have to fill out the Schedule 3 and file it with your 1040.
So if I understand correctly, as a W-2 employee, you would just change your W-4,
That's
is that right?
correct, yes.
And then you would receive up to, depending on your annual tax credit, you would receive up to $167 a month in your paycheck?
Well, it depends on, you're actually adding dependents, so it would depend on your income and how many dependents you add, but you would increase your take-home pay.
And this program lasts for the life of the loan, correct?
That is correct.
Is there any catch to using the MCC tax credit?
There can be recapture, which comes if you do not stay in the house for up to 10 years. If your income level increases above a certain point, and if you make a profit on the house, you could be subject to recapture, which is done in the form of a tax on the profit of your sale.
Gotcha. Very good. So what are closing costs? When a buyer comes into the idea of purchasing a home or wanting to purchase a home, they know what a down payment is, but what are closing costs?
Closing costs are a one-time event or fee that comes in conjunction with the purchase of a house, and then you pay them when you go to closing. So in North Carolina, for example, we're an attorney state. You're going to have to pay an attorney to close your loan. You have to pay to have your loan recorded. If you want a survey or a home inspection, those items are one time, they're closing costs. You also have certain bank fees. Some fees are associated with your interest rate. or they may be administration fees that are charged by the bank that would come in one time. All of those are closing costs.
Gotcha. And so does the first $8,000 down payment assistance program, does that help cover both that down payment and those closing costs?
It's going to depend on the purchase price of your house, obviously, but the $8,000 can be used towards your down payment. It could be used towards your closing costs or a combination of both.
Very good. So if somebody wanted to reach out to you or start the home buying process, how can they find you?
I'm with American Security Mortgage. I can be reached at lcowick@1asmc.com or 704-491-2935.
Absolutely perfect. And so the application process, when someone's starting to do that, is it difficult? What information do they need when they're submitting an application to you?
Basically, to start the application process, most of it is done online at your convenience. And we're most interested in the last 2 years of your life. So we want to know where you've worked and where you've lived and your income information for the previous 2 years. So have those things.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I think that kind of sums up. Was there anything that you could add on either one of those two programs?
No, I think that just I'd like to address the misconception that you do need a large down payment to purchase, or you do need to be perfect in every credit way to purchase. That is not necessarily the case.
So a lot of the buyers that come to me, they actually still think that they need to put 20 or 25% down, and so that's not the case in this situation.
That is not the case.
Very good, very good. Lori, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you coming out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll be back next week. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'll also include Lori's contact information so that you can reach out to her directly if you have any more questions. Bye, everybody.
Bye.